tool here and that lets you save. Look here.
True Form Life.
Green look on it.
Welcome to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. As always, I'm your host, True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. On today's show, we have our guests coming back from last week. It's Thomas and Juan, who are both co-writers and producers of a documentary called Blood, Berries, and Butter. We're going to air part 2 of our 2-part series coming up right now.
This is Exploring Mind and Body with True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert on 96.5 CKFM. Exploring Mind and Body with True Form Life's Drew Taddia, brought to you in part by Curves Complete, the whole solution that makes burning fat as easy as 1, 2, 3. Get exercise, meal plan, and coaching for $14.95 a week. Call Curves and Olds at 403-556-5992 to schedule a free, no-obligation appointment.
This segment brought to you by Complete Truth Protein Powder. Live free, live true with whole natural foods. No additives, preservatives, soy, gluten, and dairy free. Supplement with superfoods to energize your day. Visit CompleteTruthProtein.co for details.
I think a lot of people they don't have energy, and that maybe they're miserable, and they don't realize that food affects our emotions and not only our bodies. So by making small adjustments or just supplementing your body with good foods at a short amount of time, you're going to be able to feel your energy lift, your mood lift.
Yep. It's a virtuous cycle, and I was very surprised by it. And you always think about alcohol, you have a drink, and you go in that direction. And it was very surprising just having a cup of coffee. And I'm not talking about getting a caffeine buzz, but just really well, and not crashing, as I've been crashing before. Or just having not such one of the raw restaurants we went to in LA and New York, walking out of a lunch feeling completely energized. And it's you feel energized, you feel happier, you feel lighter, and you have different types of thoughts and conversations. It's just amazing how, again, small things can really change a whole lot.
It's rejuvenating, and I like how you put that because, again, a lot of us walk into a coffee shop instead of a juice shop. Making small changes or having different, healthier foods is going to make our outlook on life so much different because we're just going to have that much more energy. We're going to feel better about ourselves. So
the dark side of that is yesterday or the day before, I had coffee, and again, I'm not being a coffee snob, but I had coffee that was the wrong coffee. It was a blend. Everything was wrong about it, but I had it unconsciously, and I'm feeling horrible for 7 hours. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And it's the only thing that changed. And today, the day after I changed that out, it's so many of us are frustrated with our lives or sad or not feeling well or feeling overwhelmed. And yes, there's an element of lifestyle design, but maybe there's, like you say, food that could just help enough so we can start thinking better. And things that we're not aware of, like a cloak we're wearing, and until we at least become aware that the food that we're eating are affecting us in a powerful way, we're going to have that kind of karma or this food cloak that's surrounding us all the time.
It's funny. I just had this conversation yesterday with someone about coffee, and again, I'm not against coffee either. Like, I think there's some health benefits to it. For the most part, it's what we put in it. But anyways, with our conversation, someone was telling me how groggy they were feeling in the morning, so they had a coffee. Then the next morning, they felt even worse, so they had another coffee. So it was just it was almost like a hangover. They just kept feeling worse and worse, and then they just kept supplementing with coffee to make themselves feel better. But I mean, there's always some sort of side effect if you're using some kind of something that's not natural.
I think we should just invite everyone to have a look at what single origin wash processed coffee.
We're not selling it, by the way.
We're not selling it. I'm not going to say any brand, but look for single origin wash processed coffee, because that means it's coffee that comes from just one region. So it's not a blend of qualities of coffee and different grains. It's just one grain. Then the fact that it's wash processed means that all the mold and all the mycotoxins are removed. So
people love. You should definitely read Dave Asprey, even if you're.
Yeah.
He goes into
even if you're not a biohacker.
Even if you're a biohacker, and there's one thing going back to that one little thing that starts you very positive in the process. It's amazing. Tomas, and I've seen my sister. My sister, she's a wife. She has 2 beautiful kids in the Midwest. She's like, wow, it's too hard for me, everything. I should try this coffee. And I didn't say anything of the story, and then she's telling me the next day she's feeling awesome. And then her husband, who results in he's feeling awesome too. So it's
And you get the same reaction from people who have never juiced, for example.
exactly.
They're like, "Oh my god, that looks so weird," and you're really gonna drink that, and then you make a really nice green juice and you give it to them, and they're like, "Oh wow, it's delicious." And then right after they drink it, they're like, "Oh, I feel great." You know?
Or the raw food too. Like, oh, why am I eating this? And then they're all energized after it as well.
A raw chef from New York that we filmed with, she was like, "Hey guys, you want to come and have some breakfast, before we start shooting?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." And then she serves up a bunch of desserts, and you see all these cookies and little mousse and cakes, and you're like, "Wait a second, I'm not gonna have that for breakfast."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "No, it's all raw, it's all gluten-free, it's all sugar-free, just taste it." And it was incredible. And it's all super healthy.
And you feel great. And
right? And it's just good nuts, and I don't know exactly how they do it. That's what makes her so special, right?
We talked about, I know there's different documentaries out there. We actually watched some as a group, one of the groups that I'm involved with. We watched them together, like Forks Over Knives, like Food Inc. I want to make it clear to the listeners out there, what makes your documentary different? Why does it stand out, and how are people going to benefit from it differently than the conventional documentaries that have already been released?
it's incredibly important to raise consciousness about what's going on as a society, because we're not people trying to feel happy. We have a social responsibility, and we're part of a community, we're part of a planet. And I think this documentary has done an amazing job on that respect, and coming to do the same thing. They were treading on things that have already been done. It's not my nature. I'm not a political person. I can't do it well. So I think our documentary is more about reframing the conversation, just showing a different angle on the conversation. And if you start, like, when you see something on TV, sun causes skin cancer, study shows. You start with the alarm. And we want to start the other way around. We want to start with, hey, did you know that juicing can make you feel better, or emotions, or food affects emotions? An interesting fact. And then you move into, yeah, it's real, and you kind of show people how the science is supporting it, how examples are supporting it. Then you show it, you know what, it's not about changing your whole lifestyle. You can do really small things to move in that direction. And finally is, hey, it's going to have an awesome impact in your life. So it's kind of a completely different spin, as opposed to not alarm, but wonder. It's more about not fear, but celebration. So I think that's what we're trying. We're not doing it for a marketing perspective, because we're not marketers. I think it's evolving more of, this is who we are. We're curious, and many people are very curious, and it's kind of seeking what you're curious about, and trying to find out ways of making it your own, or not making it your own.
Yeah, no, as I said before, it's about celebrating the power of food, and we want to have a look at all those diets out there that are really hitting it out of the park. As Juan said earlier, just did you know that good fats can be good for you, that your brain actually needs good fat in order to work better and more efficiently, and to help you have more mental focus. It's more about, celebrating the power of food and how it can make us feel. That's what it is about.
Exploring mind and body with Trueform's Drew Taddia would not be possible without the help from the following sponsors: AG Foods in Didsbury, CLC Fitness Center, Health Street in the Cornerstone Shopping Center Olds, and Shoppers Drug Mart, working together to help build a healthier tomorrow. For more information on Trueform Life, Drew Taddia, or how to become a sponsor of Exploring Mind and Body, visit TrueFormLife.com.
This segment brought to you by Trueform Fitness, for all your health and fitness needs. Personal training and group classes available locally. Visit TrueFormLife.com for details.
I know you guys have an Indigo account. I want to make sure people know they can help out. Tell us about that. It's got to be, I have no experience myself. Tell our listeners what it's like to try to put together a project as intensive as this one is.
Yeah, well, I think the Indiegogo is just a small part of the whole story. It's been a real test. We've learned a lot about crowdfunding through this Indiegogo, right? Mm-hmm. We've self-funded until now. I think when you're passionate about something, you just start. Our last project, the documentary I mentioned earlier, it took 3 years to fund. Once it was funded, we went out and shot, and we lost a lot of good opportunities. And here we started differently. We just started, we're passionate, let's shoot, and then
guys who have been maxing out all our credit cards and just going at it because we're so passionate about it. And we're experimenting with Indiegogo, which I think is an awesome crowdfunding platform where people can help us out. And we're just trying to we're not marketers. We'd love if people can, if you like our project, help us in any way you can. Also get the word out because we don't know about that. We know about cameras and about editing and about talking to people, but we're not very media savvy. It's called. I don't have a Facebook account. Yeah, Facebook. I do. Okay, I don't even have a Facebook account. I mean, that shows how unmedia savvy I am on that.
Well, it's good that you guys have a good project going, and that's why I wanted you guys on the show because a lot of people do certain projects that they're not really passionate about. They're just doing it for money, or they have a ton of money. They're just bored with their life. But you guys are passionate about it.
To us, it's just this is one of those projects where you know that everything is right and what you're doing is awesome, and so we haven't stopped for 1 second since we started. It's just and everything. It's very organic. Everything is always constantly changing. But it's awesome. It keeps us so creative, and we're revisiting all the time the story, the characters, where we want to go, how we want to engage our audience, what we want to tell them exactly, and how. And also we have b3mavericks.com.
b3mavericks.com. Got it.
Yeah, because it's the title of the documentary is Blood Berries or Butter, Maverick Wellness Highways. So we have all these characters who are nutritionists, scientists, athletes, entrepreneurs, doctors, neurochemists, raw chefs. It's a big group of amazing people working with the brain, working with nutrition, and so on. And they have been at some point in their lives confronted to gigantic challenges to get their message across or to prove that they're onto something really good. They've had to try really hard to show other people that they are not wrong, that their view and their vision might seem a little, quirky because it's new and it's disruptive, but it's actually working, it's super innovative.
Like for Indiegogo, just trying to make it justice, is I'm maxed out, but I keep going and I keep finding any little thing I can go forward. And it's about, I call it the Amazon. You order something on Amazon, right? So if you really want to read a book, if you really want to see a DVD, you don't order the 14-day delivery. You try to get something sooner. And if you're passionate about something, every little funding we get or any help we get allows us to talk to one more awesome person. For example, our next milestone is to interview Sig Sergensen from Denmark in birthiology, which is a completely different area that fits our wellness theme. And it's about, if we just had a contribution into Google, we could go talk with Sig, and he would be part of this kind of flow of information coming out to everyone else. So it's really, it's really about everything is helping, moving forward, and everybody's help is really appreciated. And it's not only for us; everybody in the community that cares about health, wellness appreciates this because the information is out there. And it's just about getting it all together and sharing that information.
Yeah.
In the same way we were talking about small changes in lifestyle nutrition. This is like small steps, but really steady and. Yes, and the website b3mavericks.com. Yeah.
Well, I think that since you guys are passionate, you guys want to get your message across. People want to be a part of that. I mean, and it doesn't always have to be just about money. Like every little bit helps. We understand that, but sharing, posting and just talking about it, getting word of mouth and helping it go viral that way is another way anyone could help out.
What I wish people do it's what you said earlier, it's the idea of one thing. Because do juicing, try the coffee, try one thing, and I think I have found that I have changed a lot through that, and people around me have changed that. So if anything is, even if you can't give us money or share for the documentary, just try one thing.
Try either of three things. Make some green juice in the morning, or get some fresh pressed green juice. Or put some grass-fed unsalted butter in your coffee, or add a tablespoon of coconut oil and some cinnamon to your jasmine green tea. Just different stuff.
Just try it out.
They're fascinating. I mean, Dave Asprey, Rich Roll, Nicholas Berry-Cohen. These people are amazing. I mean, just as people from a cultural perspective, very, very interesting. So much good information out there. It's amazing.
Right. Well, we'll look forward to it coming out. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. And hopefully, when things progress a little more, you guys can come back and let us know how things are going and how progress is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Trueform Life.
That's all we have for you this evening. As always, I'm your host, True Form's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. Be sure to tune in next week for some more health and fitness tips. In health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. For more on Trueform's Drew Taddia, visit trueformlife.com. Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Taddia would not be possible without the help of GDK Gravel and Sand. GDK Gravel and Sand, now offering all products in 1/2 and 1 yard bags. Give them a call today for more information. 1-877-335-2091.